Hello everyone, happy Saturday. I think so. You'll be expecting our video because today's topic it is a little bit different from the regular topics because it is an listening one, so which I don't have really. So just I'm going to get some expert consultation, the free consultation from Cathy. Yeah, yes. How are you, Cathy?
I'm fine. Neither me have that thing. I have to develop.
Okay, okay, yeah. So today's topic is little bit interesting, but this is how the day-to-day life of everyone enters. Why? Because from the early morning till the bed, so what we are doing is we are just speaking to somebody else, somebody is listening to us. Speaking to somebody else, it is literally we have a mouth and we will be doing that very good and very perfectly. But when it comes to the listening part, nobody cares about that. Why? Because if Cathy is speaking to me something, I will never listen to the entire one. It is like after the episode finished, I will just go on and recall what she has spoken. Because my listening capacity is little bit reduced. Why? Because of my personal life and professional life. Along with that, we are adding with some of this podcast. So the day-to-day life goes with some of the struggles, and we will be entering into a life where we doesn't expect it. For example, today I was just coming from my office to my home. What happened is I'm just traveling with my bike. So usually I will reach here by within 1 hour. But today what happened? The rain along with the traffic and there are many blocks in the area. So what happens? The regular life itself it is changing. That's why the person who is wanted to listen somebody else, it is changing literally day by day. For example, when we got a mobile phone and when we got a free data from 2015. So what happens in India is people just focusing only on the mobile, and they are once the Instagram and YouTube shorts has came down, what happened is we are just having a listening capacity of 15 second to 30 second. This is nowadays it is happening. If you are speaking more than 15 seconds or 30 seconds, people are wanted to scroll our speech if it is in the live situation itself, I'm saying. So that's why today's topic it is going to be little bit of techniques, and we will speak about and we need to understand why this listening capacity is reduced nowadays and what we can do and what are the strategies there. So that's why Cathy is going to speak with us today. And can we go with the VC Connect, Cathy?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I want to ask you, are you someone who is a listener or you speak more? I know the answer, but I want you to say to our audience.
Obviously, to speak, I speak a lot.
Yes.
I'm a good speaker.
Yeah, yes, I know about that. That's why I'm just asking this question at the first one because I know the Cathy. She starts with A and she ends with Z. So between that, you will sleep and you will have a small nap and you can wake up. So she will speak continuously. So that's why she usually speaks in the stage. So when she starts this elocution or some open talk in the stage, what happens is I will just listening and she will be speaking a lot, and at last she will get a prize. And I will be sitting along with them, and I will be okay. Fine, this time it's fine. Next year we will be next year. Next year it went up to fourth year. Then also Cathy will win the prize, and I will be sitting and I will be cheering up everyone. So this is what happens with the Cathy.
I'm like I have to listen by profession. I have to listen now.
But by profession, you need to speak more, no?
And also
As a
listen.
faculty,
Without
you need to
listening, I
speak
can't
more.
speak up.
Yeah, but we faculty, we educators have one negative point, that is we speak more. If somebody is speaking from the opposite end, the 80% of the faculties will not listen to the students. They will argue with the students. No, this is the correct answer. This is what happened. I'm saying not about all educators and all professors or lecturers. I'm saying including me, that 80 or 60% of people will come along with me because I speak a lot and I will not listen to the person who wants to tell, okay, this is what happened. So instead, I will speak everything, and they will say, I came here for the other reason, not for this. So this ends up with a small kind of joke. So and next thing is I want to ask you is like you said, you speak a lot. So has someone ever listened to you at the right time and made a difference in your life? For example, if you're saying something personally to somebody else, and they are listening to a lot of things about you and what has happened, they are just giving you a concern, and they are just supporting you in the emotional and mental health. Okay. So is there anybody or something was happened before, not today, the past one? I'm asking the past.
Yes, obviously, I have a lot of person who are very good listeners according to me, especially for
Mhm.
me, who have lots of
Mhm.
concern. But to the point who has changed my life or the time, I don't feel someone like that. But I have
Mhm.
lots of people who had listened to me at the right time.
Okay.
Actually, of feeling like they didn't change anything, like I had some people to listen. That even is more satisfying because change should
Okay.
come from my side, not from them.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So when we speak about this hearing and listening one, I want to ask you, what does this being heard mean to you? That means being heard. I'm just hearing you. I'm just listening to you. There is some differences there. The hearing and listening. Listening is something a kind of different one, and the hearing it's a kind of different one. What do you mean being heard?
Okay, here, being here, like listening is something which we take it by choice, but hearing is something which happens to us. Like when we pass in, when we cross a road, we hear horn sound, we hear people speak. Everything, we
Mhm.
don't choose to hear that, but listening, we choose what to hear and what not to.
Okay. Okay. It's a kind of our podcast to the non-subscribers. It will come on the scroll page, and they will be it is not they fixed it. They want to see this podcast, but it comes in. So that is what you are saying, the hearing, right? And listening is what? For the subscribers who just wanted to click the thumbnail and they enters to the video and they listens. So that
Through
is listen, right?
live, especially they commented, right? They come and join through live to listen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, understood. I understood. I understood many things with the understanding in the VC Connect itself, but we have a portion called understanding about this listening. And I need to ask you one question. What is the difference between hearing and truly listening? The listening itself has some kind of a bifurcation. It is listening is I wanted to listen something, but I'm not listening for the entire one. It is what I need to listen. I'm just listening and I'm avoiding it. For example, if you take a research YouTube channels, what happens? I want to see only particular one. So that's what I'm just hearing from that YouTube channel. The remaining one, I doesn't want to hear it. I'm just skipping it. So now I need to understand whether this hearing and truly listening has some difference or not.
Yes, of course. Hearing is different and listening is different. But uh,
Mhm.
those who are hearing things while speaking, they are literally compared to deaf because listening
Okay.
only takes in the message. Just hearing, we just
Mhm.
hear it here and pass it out this way. So
Okay.
listening only, it's more a thing. So coming to
Mhm.
listening, we have lots of importance. Art of listening, we have books for art of listening. We have lots of poems and many authors speaking about listening. Why listening is very very important. Especially in Tirukural, we have a particular segment for listening. Kelvi. The
Mhm.
topic is Kelvi, and we have 10 kurals under that.
Mhm.
And one such kural is, we all know, everyone would know, Selvathul Selvam Sevichelvam
Okay.
Achelvam Selvathul Ellam Thalai. Like Selvam in the sense it is wealth. So, uh, uh, the art of listening. Listening is the wealth among all wealth, among knowledge,
Mhm.
wisdom, and above all,
Mhm.
money, power, everything. The art of listening is the um, topmost wealth a man could possess. So, Hearing out is literally different. Hearing is not actually necessary. Hearing, as I said, hearing is not our choice. It is something which comes to us, and we hear and we just pass it down. Or I listen to someone, I hear what they say, and I just repeat it to someone. That's all. That is or something. But listening is where we understand, and if it is a conversation between two persons, then it is about regarding the matter of empathizing with other. So when you hear something, you really don't empathize. Only when you listen, you will empathize, you will understand the emotional feelings. There are things what you have to do while listening, so that you will truly connect with the person. So listening is that important, and the art of listening is very, very necessary, which each and every individual should develop, irrespective of their age, or their gender, or their profession, everything, because it starts from your childhood until end, till your death. You have to listen. Like without listening, you can't learn a new language. Without understanding, you can't learn a new language. Without understanding and without listening, you can't progress yourselves in your studies. So it is really very, very essential. Just hearing is not helpful, or it is going to work with you. Listening is the one thing which will truly work with you. And true listening, in the sense, it is like you hear it, you process it in your mind, and you give a feedback on that. That is what true listening is. Even sometimes people listen to what all you say, but at the end they will not be able to answer you, or they will not be able to give you proper feedback on that. The true listening is art of processing what you're hearing, and you give a proper feedback on. That is what true listening tends to.
Okay, so when you say that the people hears a lot and they doesn't want to give a feedback and they doesn't have a capacity to do that one, but I need to ask the same thing. If somebody is wanted to listen you and they wanted to reply only for the replying purpose, they want to listen about it. For example, you are saying something about your college or your day of this particular day, and I'm just want to reply it. Okay, yeah, well done, Kathy, it was fine. That's it. That is my reply. Okay, so why does this happens every time to every human beings that want to hear or listen something to reply? It is not only replying, right? So it is like you need to take it empathetically. You need to stand in their foot and what has happened. Okay, if they are in this struggle, if something it has happened to me also will be the same kind of thing will be happen. It is not like they will be having a different kind of medical issues and I will be having a different kind of medical issue. If they have a typhoid, the same symptoms and signs will be occurring for me also, right? So now you just tell me, Kathy, why do many of us listen just to reply instead of listening to understand? The understanding level, it is lesser when comparatively 80 to 90% of persons or the human beings wanted to reply. It is not that they take it inside and they want to reply back to you at the last. It is not happening mostly. Okay, what do you think about this?
Okay, coming to this point, many, like if you take for a student undergoing a viva, the keen thought of the student is he should answer all the questions asked to him. So automatically his listening is to reply to the person, not to understand what the question. You will start with some fracture. You don't know how the question will go even, but he will start answering for fracture, what all he wants. So the thing is like replying, they feel like replying fast or replying with correct, once the sentence is completed. They think that is what listening is. Like, okay, I have to listen to your whole story, and now I am replying back. And see, some people literally listen only just to reply back. And during that listening part, even they will start processing their reply in their mind. They will not totally understand your what you're coming to say. Like, for example, if I'm sharing some important incident which happened to me, they will be literally at the end, they will be thinking, okay, when she completes the story, what should I tell her? What are the comfort I should give her? So that's what is the process of their mind. They literally listen and they don't process. They are not trying to understand. They just want to frame their reply. So automatically they aren't not able to understand, because their
Yes,
mind
yes.
is trying to frame a reply for that. So automatically
Okay.
the understanding part is not even there. It is only for
So,
the reply part is only
you're
present.
saying that there is some issue in our mindset itself that I want to reply back. So it is automatically it is happening to me, or there is any kind of practice I can do, and can I change those things? No, okay, I need to listen first. I don't want to process my mind to reply back to Kathy now. I need to listen fully, entirely what has happened. Okay, I observed it very perfectly. So this kind of thing, if I say, it is very easy. But suddenly, if you are saying something to me, my mind will process only what I need to reply to you. So whether it is a normal or it's kind of a changeable thing.
It's completely normal, because it depends upon the person. Like if I am a counselor, I listen with the point what kind of reply I should give to my patient at the end.
Yes.
So actually, the counselor should understand, but he or she will be in the process of what kind of treatment, what kind of goal, what kind of reply I can give. Automatically, it is by their profession. But in case of you share something with your friend, it's not the same. Your friend will come, she will ask, or he or she will probe into more. They start understanding. So it depends upon to whom you are talking, and to like for what is the purpose of the conversation. Like if a doctor and a patient is speaking, automatically the process is to reply, not to understand. Many doctors, like I even personally I feel like
Because
when we are
doctor knows the
about to tell,
answer.
huh?
Because doctor knows the answer. If patient
Yes,
is
of
asking
course.
some questions, doctor knows the answer. That's why he is replying.
No, actually, they will never try to understand. Not, I can't say never. They might not, because literally there are doctors who listen to us what we really feel. But there are
Yeah.
doctors, once we start the sentence, my knee is paining, maybe overweight. You have to reduce your weight. Those assumptions. So that is,
Yes.
so it depends upon the mentality, and like there used to be a point in Purananuru, leadership without listening becomes isolation. So only when we listen, there will be a good doctor. Like maybe I never visited a doctor once again when he said this. Like, so he's not even listening to my problem. Why I visit such a doctor? Such a physician
Yes,
is not necessary for me.
yeah.
But the same thing I was telling to my friend about my pain and sufferings. He or she doesn't know about that, no medical related connect at all. But still, she or he keeps listening. Okay, what happened then? Did you visit a doctor? So that is what the part. So it depends upon to whom we are speaking, what kind of problem. Automatically, if it is between a teacher and a student, the teacher will try to reply than understanding, because the teacher wants to clarify the students the doubt, and she wants to prove herself that she knows the answer. So that is what, if the same question is asked by someone else, or in some other situation, by chance she gets to listen to that doubt or question, there won't be a reply. She might start understanding the question, what sort of question is that. So it depends upon the situation, depends upon the person who is conversing, and it depends upon the time of conversation and the mood of the person. So like if I'm totally not in a mood to speak, I just listen, nod, and I reply and I go. If I'm in a mood to gossip and in a mood to speak more, I used to listen, I used to probe questions. So it is totally normal to listen to reply. And listening to understand is something we should cultivate, and it depends upon what, like if it is for an answer, a question answer, it is almost listening to reply, because he's asking a question, I should tell the answer. If it is about comforting, empathizing, then I should try to understand. So both are essential.
Okay, so it's like I need to. It depends upon the situation and
Yes.
what mood I am and how I take that problem or issue, right? Okay.
Yes.
When we speak about the patient and doctor, patient and a nurse, if doctor or nurses are entering to a patient environment, if patient want to say something to the doctor or nurse, but we are not listening properly. We just want to put a nurse's notes and doctor's notes. We are just hearing it and just going on to the next bit. If I am doing the same thing, it is not only I'm not hearing, I'm not listening properly. It is another one. There is a safety concern. Today, patient might say, I have a little bit of pain in my left side of the chest. So I'm just hearing, okay, left side, no problem. It will be like early morning, no? So you will be having this kind of thing. I'm just skipping it. Why? Because I have more patient. I need to visit the next bed. So if I'm not listening it properly, what happens? Suddenly, patient might be going to the cardiac arrest. So there, the patient safety is also getting concerned. Why? Because I'm just, if I heard it properly, if I listened it properly, if I observed it properly, I could have changed, I could have saved the patient properly from that particular moment. So what do you think, if can the poor listening leads to some misunderstanding, or else it can also affect the safety of the patient?
Of course, listening is very essential. You said some cardiac arrest. Even I say, like during
Mm,
history collection, I'm collecting history. My thing is to I have to collect the history collection soon, and I have to enter it into the data
mm,
or system in HIS.
yeah.
So I do it very fast that I miss the word what he was saying. Like the same drug was
Mhm,
given to me. That time I had some discomforts or nausea, maybe. But that would
mhm.
have been some drug allergy. What he's speaking, he or she is speaking. I just
Okay.
listened it. I just heard it and
Mm,
I dusted it off. Maybe so that time actually it does some harm to the patient. So negligence
mm,
and it is not benefiting the patient. So when it comes to
mhm,
patient and a nurse conversation and patient and a doctor conversation, it is always listening for understanding. It is not rather
mm.
listening to reply. Okay,
Okay.
and
Mm,
after understanding, you should start replying, and moreover you should not have judgmental about the patient while listening. So only when once
mm,
you are non-judgmental, you will be able to listen and understand. If you are judgmental, you won't be able to understand what they are saying. You just listen just
mm.
to reply. So yes,
Okay.
of course, a patient and a nurse conversation and a doctor and a patient conversation is literally very essential, with a part of understanding rather than trying to
Mhm.
reply to the patient. It goes on with
Okay.
everyone. It is not only the
Mm,
patient and the nurse, it is with the attendant. Maybe the attendant would
mm,
say something like I had not brought my the food is arriving soon. The
mm,
Can you withhold the insulin for a bit more longer? If I didn't
okay.
listen to the attendant and I gave my insulin
Mm,
shot, then I'm doing harm to the patient. So I have
okay.
to wait for the food to arrive, right?
Mm,
So that is
yes.
what it is. Not only we have to listen to the patient, it is also to the surrounding, to the surrounding of the patient. I have to
Mm,
listen rather than hearing. Okay,
mm,
if I just miss the word late, it will take a bit late for the food arriving. I just listen food arriving. Okay, food is coming. I'm just giving my insulin shot instead of I didn't. I have
mhm,
missed the word late. It is still arriving. So I didn't.
okay.
I when I miss those things, actually I do harm to the patient. So this is where
Mhm,
the healthcare workers should be very keen. Active listening is very,
mhm.
very essential rather than just
Yes.
hearing and dusting it off.
Yes, of course. When it comes to the patient, and I'm just speaking with the patient, so nurse-patient relationship should be must, and it is if you are doing the same. Like for example, if I'm just entering into the patient environment, I'm just speaking with the patient. It is not only I'm just listening. It just I want to see the patient. There should be a eye-to-eye contact. When I teach to my students about the communication, so we use some kind of the tools for the communication. So where communication, if you want to use a tool, you need to adapt to some situations. Like eye to eye contact should be maintained. What is your gesture, how you are looking, and what is your hand movement. So this depends. Why? Because if patient truly trust me, patient want to say something to me, just I need to be very open to them. If I'm not open to the patient, patient will not speak to me at all. She will speak one time, nurse, I have this kind of a problem. The second day, same, you came and she's telling the same kind of issue. Third day, you're coming, the patient is saying the same kind of thing. What happens here is the trust between the patient and nurse is also getting spoiled. So usually this happens. It is not only with the nurses, it is also for other healthcare professions like doctors, technicians, technologists. So never ever this ends. Why? Because the relationship between a nurse, sometimes what happens, I will be over friendly to the patient. That is also very wrong. If I am not listening to the patient, is also very wrong. For example, I will be asking to the patient, how was your father? It is fine. If I'm asking what is the dress he is wearing today and what he had, did he is coming in a bike, motorbike, or a car? So this is absolutely, it is not my concern what patient father is doing. This is a kind of over friendly. Sometimes patient nurses will be over friendly and they will be listening too much the lot of things from the patient. So this also happens when it comes to the patient. If I come to my house, to my home, my partner, my father and mother, any kind of a friends or my colleagues, if I am just not listening to them properly, do I get some misunderstanding with them? So usually this happens. If somebody is not listening to me, obviously I will not say anything to them and I will be having a distance from them, right? So what do you say about how can listening improve the relationship between a personal life? For example, the parents or my partner, my wife, my daughter, my son, or my grandfather, anybody else, friends, colleague, anybody else. How I can increase this and I can improve my listening capacity.
Okay, fine. Like even this goes with your patient and nurse and doctor nurse. One thing is in
Mm,
listening, it is not only you should lend your ears, you should also maintain eye contact with them.
yes.
Because a person can say, "I'm fine. How are you?" You're asking a patient, or you're asking a
Mm,
wife after a day work, full
mm,
day shift.
yes.
You're asking, "How was your day? How are you?" Just fine will be okay. You listen and you go. But once you see them,
Mm,
maybe they are not looking so good, or they are very their eyes are very tired. That time only
yes.
you will be able to understand. So understanding
Mm,
needs to put a lot of effort, only not just hearing, like maintaining eye
mm,
to eye contact. And it is to
okay.
find something which is behind the sentences, like there is a art like reading in between sentences. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So a person, you are calling out a person for tries to meet out. But he every time at the last moment he says, no, I have some
Mm,
work, I have to go here, or not even at the last time. Once at the last time, once even prior day, he's informing like thrice he is plans. That is just reading between lines. Like he's giving a hint that
mm,
he's not willing to meet you. So that is where I
mm,
have to take the words in between the lines. So when it comes to partner, if just your wife is asking, you didn't even call today, it the one who is understanding might think he is accusing she or he is accusing me, the partner,
mm,
for not even
yes.
calling, for not calling. Maybe I had some work, so I didn't call.
Mm,
Why she or he is accusing me? But in the point of view of a partner, the wife or husband who is
mm,
asking the question, he or she thinks he didn't care for me. He didn't even once call
mm,
me whether to check on me whether I had lunch,
yes.
whether
Yes.
I had breakfast. So that
Mm,
is where your the interpretation of the question even differs. So
mm,
reading between
mm,
lines. If I'm just listening to that, you didn't even call me today once, not
mm,
even once. That is just listening. I think as if she or he is complaining. But once if I turn and see them while asking that question, the facial
mm,
expression or the eye contact might tell that she was worried about me not calling. Maybe she was worried about me. Since I didn't call,
mm,
she might be worried.
yes.
Even that question might have another question underneath. Was it so busy
Mm,
today you couldn't even call? You
okay.
understand what I say? So that is what.
Mm,
So instead of just analyzing the questions with a normal from the surface level, you have to just
mm,
understand deeply, so that you don't
okay.
have you don't pick up a fight with your partner. So to
Okay.
understand
Okay.
deeply, you should really look
Mm,
into their eyes, what they are up to,
mm,
whether she is for a fight
yes.
or whether she is really concerned to us. What is the
Mm,
tone? Listening, active listening. Also, you have to think on like what is the tone of the voice. Why you didn't even call me today? That tone. You didn't even call me today. What happened? Are you really busy that much? That's the tone. So listening, in the sense, it's not just processing the words, processing their tone, processing their pitch, processing their words, and eye contact, their facial expression. Everything comes under this listening part. That is where
Yes.
you will really understand the patient or your partner or your child or your student. So that's what listening actually goes in a relationship. This is how listening should be in a relationship. You have to read in between the sentences. There might be many things hidden in between the sentences.
It's like that I need to be very active listener with my family members too, so that
Of
lot of
course.
things I can change.
Yes, just take it for your daughter or my daughter. If I have a daughter of who is studying second standard or third standard, she goes to school and she comes back. She constantly repeats one particular name in all her sentences, like in her speech. Then there it is reading between lines. There is someone else in her life. She is having a friend. So this is how I should connect how much depth their friendship is. Or if she said, I was alone today in my school, I didn't have anyone to play. Maybe tomorrow they will, you is just listening and replying back to her. You have to process, your child is saying she was alone. You have to process that she didn't have friends to play. Then you have to probe into the question, why didn't you have any friends to play with you? Or was your friend absent today? Why? What happened to him or her? So this is how reading between lines will take place. So if you have this skill you have to develop so that you have a beautiful relationship. You identify things correctly. If your teenage daughter or son is speaking about opposite gender name frequently in his or her conversation, maybe some infatuation is going on, something is cooking. So this is where you have to read between lines. They will not directly open up to you, or maybe at that point of time they wouldn't have anything. Maybe you can sense it as a grown-up adult. You will be matured enough to sense that something will be cooking tomorrow. So this is how you have to maintain a proper listening skills with your everyone, maybe your partner, your child, or anyone in your relationships, family members. That's very essential.
Absolutely correct, Kathy. So what it is like the listening, it is not only going to build with somebody else, it is also with the personal life. We will connect with our mother, father, wife, or husband, anybody else. So what happens here is it is not only the tone, how they are behaving, the gesture, how they stand, and whether they are tying up their hands front or the back, how their gesture is, they wanted to beat with some equipment or not. If you are not just seeing with the wife or husband, what happened? They will be having a knife in the hand and they will throw at us. So these are all the little bit of joke, but even though this can change many things. Obviously, what you said is right. So you can see the how they are speaking and how they want to reflect. Why? Because they have expectations. It is not only a husband, it is not only the wife. Everybody, those who are close enough, they have expectations that the other person need to fulfill it. So that is what the relationship maintains for a long time. So here I need to put up another question to you, Kathy. So whether uh, if there are some simple habits that I can change myself today, this current moment, to actively listen if somebody is speaking to me. So what are the things do you say to us?
Of course, there are lots of things. One is active listening includes like giving your attention to them properly. Like one poem is there. You are maybe many would know William Wordsworth poem, "The Solitary Reaper," where he will be just passing by the fields, and that time a lady will be singing. If he is just hearing, he could have passed by, but he is listening. So he understands the solitudeness in the poem. Actually, the lone reaper singing about some he doesn't even listen. He's not able to pick up the words, but still, from the tune, from the pitch and the volume, he's able to think that she's singing about some far old memories, maybe about some war fields, maybe about some past relationship, anything. So that is where, so giving attention is very essential. So if I'm just passing by, it's not giving attention. I'm just listening and I'm just passing by. So that's hearing. So listening needs active attention. So that is one thing, first point, first habit everyone should develop, giving your whole attention to them. And second thing is maintaining eye contact so that the person feels listened. So if you are looking somewhere here and just your ear is here, they might feel whether you're listening or you're looking somewhere, whether you're reading something on that wall, whether you're looking at the notice over there, they don't know actually what you're doing. So maintaining eye contact is a very good habit. When you maintain eye contact, you actually tend to listen to them. So when you're looking somewhere away, your unconsciously, your attention diverts. So when you maintain eye contact, your attention is not divided. Undivided attention can be given to that particular person. So you have to listen to what is not said. As I said, reading between lines. You have to try to develop that habit. Actually, I do it often with my mother. What she used to say is, நீ எப்பயுமே எடக்கு மடக்காதான் யோசிப்பு. Like she actually puts a direct sentence, but I used to understand in some other way. It means like this, or your tone says like this. No, I was saying in a normal tone, but I did not know your tone was like that. If it was really meant to be like this, then your tone should be like this. Adilla papa. You tell Adilla papa. So your tone, you're just angry. So that is what. So listening to what is not being said, actually, they don't, even your patients won't be able to just speak it out directly to you. Some might be hesitant at initially without rapport. So you have to try to listen even things not said to you. The thing is, next is, do not assume. One particular habit is you should not assume things. You should always be non-judgmental, pre-judgmental while listening. Then only you will be able to listen properly. For example, we all know the story of empty cups. Only when you are empty, when the cup is empty, the cup will be able to receive something inside. The cup is full already with judgments, assumptions. You will not be able to listen. Even if you listen, you cannot process and give a proper feedback. So you should always try to be non-judgmental, and without assumption, you have to listen. So there are many songs and many poems which literally speak about this listening art and habit of listening. There is one Purananuru poem which says, like, listening is very essential. It's like when an elephant goes in a paddy field and destroys the whole paddy, it can eat only for 1 day or 2 days. But if the same paddy is stored and is given to the elephant daily for feeding, it can eat for a full season, for the next, until the next paddy yield. So that is how it is listening. Just instead of overflowing everything, you have to slowly process everything, and then you have to think. That is what good listening needs, actually. And also something, one more important habit while listening is silence. Again, William Wordsworth says this. What is the in some poem he says, there was a boy who used to speak with owls in the mountains and forests. Once he stopped speaking, he was able to listen to something more than the sounds of owl. Like, if I'm speaking with the cat, I can only speak with that cat. I cannot listen to anything else. But once I maintain silence, I can listen to the whole world surrounding me. I can listen to another dog there. I can listen to another bird chirping over the tree. So that is what one particular habit you have to develop to have a good listening is silence, pausing between there are some persons, as fast as I stop my conversation, they will start replying back. They won't allow me to pause, or they won't allow me to process to the next word. Maybe I would feel for that, what I was saying. I would have been in a process of, like, I'm telling a story to them. at that time I might feel to cry, so I paused and I'm trying to control my cry. But automatically, if they start speaking, or that whole sense, that whole presence is destroyed. So pause and silences are very essential to listen more. If you want to listen more, you have to be very silent and keen to listen. Then only you will be able to listen more. So these habits you can have for a good listener. To habits you can follow to become a good listener.
Okay, so when you say about the English poem, so I'm just getting the nostalgic moment. So when my English teacher, Miss Sheila, says about those stories to me, so it is like remembering many things like school days. So what message would you like to say to our team members who are watching from the other end? So about the importance of listening. You said many things, but I need to hear something very important one here.
Okay. Good listening prevents unnecessary distractions. So you have to be a very good listener. That is what I would like to say first. And you have another one. This is one Tirukural again. I can't by heart it. I'll just read it.
Today actually we are getting more Tirukural and Purnanuru and many poems from our English childhood books.
Because listening is an art, so it has to connect with literature. It is not a science.
Yeah. So now you are just becoming a literature professor now. You are not from the background of mental health. Yes, yes. Of course, we are just now to hear those literatures, poems now.
I love reading, right? As you know, I love reading. So.
Yeah, I know.
So when it comes listening, you should always think is as an art, kalai, not something as something which is scientifically proven or habit or something. It's an art actually. As speaking is an art, listening is also an art. We can't train; it should come naturally. We should develop it by days.
It's very difficult for the human beings nowadays to listen carefully what the other end or the other person speaks. That's a problem nowadays.
That's why videos became shorts, shorts became reels. Sorry, reels became shorts and everything.
Yes.
Okay, one thing is கேட்பினும் கேளாதகைய கேள்வியால் தோற்கப்படாத செவி. That is like if you have ears and you listen, but still you're not be able to process it, then you are a deaf. You're not someone who can hear. So that is what the message I would like to tell. So listening is an art. You have to listen to understand, and you have to reply after understanding. If you just listen, then you are equal to someone who is physically not able to listen. So that is what is the message I would like to convey to those on the other hand. So try to listen actively, and and stay focused when you're listening. Give your whole attention to them, and that's what brings you a fruitful conversation. And actually only when we listen and understand, you will be able to find solutions. Without listening without understanding, if you listen, you won't be able to give proper solutions, because there might be I don't get any example right now. There might be any problem a girl is telling some problem to her mother. If the mother is not able to listen and understand, she will see the problem at the surface level. Only the tip of the iceberg will be visible. Only when you understand the iceberg phenomenon, you will be able to see the bottom of the iceberg. So that is what is the message I would like to convey. Iceberg phenomenon. If you listen without understanding, or if you hear just to reply, you only get to know the tip of the iceberg, not the whole iceberg, or not the whole problem. So automatically solutions will be delayed, solutions will not be proper, solutions will not be working, and so that goes.
Yes, you said very well, Cathy, about the listening part. We just want to learn something else like listening. It is very easy. It is not only the easy moment that you see this podcast today and you will listen from that tomorrow. It is a day-to-day practice. We are the human beings. We learn by daily. It is not that every single night we read and we will write exam tomorrow. It is like to score something else. It is not fit to the entire life. So that's a very good thing what you said, and you made many literature parts here so that we could able to understand better about those things. And now it's the end of our session. I need to ask you something from the rapid fire. You can choose only one from this, whether you will choose listening or speaking. I know the answer, what you will say, but even though I am asking you whether it is listening or speaking.
It depends upon my position.
Hmm. Okay. If you are a professor or lecturer,
I have to speak to take classes. If I am
okay.
a
If you are,
counselor, I have to
mhm.
listen.
Okay, that's great. It depends upon the situation where you are sitting. Now you are the
What is my
position, you
role?
need to speak.
It depends upon the
Okay.
role. Now, my role is to speak, so I speak.
Mm.
If you are telling something, then I have to listen. So I can't
Okay.
choose
And
between two.
okay, but I know Cathy who speaks a lot. I was like fixing you in the nature called speaking only, not a listening.
Of course,
Listening
that
usually
is
that
my
doesn't
nature.
happen in the friendship. It's like speaking. You speak something, I speak something. If we will not take more in depth of the what we spoke, it's like the casual talk we are doing. And the second rapid
I
fire
think,
to you.
one thing I
Yes.
would like to tell is in listening, you should not connect it with your stories. Like a person will be coming
Mm.
and telling me, something happened to my mother, and even my mother got sick. So that you connect your
Mm.
story and you try to reply with something from your side. That should not be.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it will happen. It happened the same way for me. Automatically, the
Mm.
other person will not feel to vent out the thing. So that is not a good part of listening. You might think we are actively responding, but actually you're not
Mm.
able to give your attention to them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. A great example. And the last rapid fire to you, Kathy, it's one habit of a good listener. What you will say about this thing?
A good listener should. I told many habits, so everything is for good.
Yes, I need one
Maybe
habit for me and for our team members who are seeing from that end.
non-judgmental. With, without assumptions,
Wonderful.
start listening.
Yes, that's a great thing because we usually when I see somebody else, I will see how they are wearing the dress and for what motto they are speaking to me. Whether I need to listen to them carefully or it is necessary for me now. If I'm standing in the bus stop, if somebody wants to speak to me, I will just thinking, okay, this is unnecessary matter. I should not involve into this particular thing. So this happens every time that you judge some people like if I like the same thing what I did to you now. I was like thinking Kathy will be speaking a lot. Now you said like it depends upon the position. So that's what this judgmental thing works out. So thank you so much, Kathy, for briefing
Example
everything about the business.
classroom
Yeah.
and one best example is classroom student and editor.
Mm.
Maybe some topics are repeated. You repeat that in med surg, you repeat that in child health, you repeat that in community health.
Mhm. Yes.
Automatically the mindset of the student is already this topic was taught diabetes. If you take it for diabetes,
Mhm.
this was
Yeah.
already thought. Why should I listen again in community? But the prevention, primordial prevention, is in community area.
Yeah.
If it
Yes.
is for pediatric, the juvenile diabetes mellitus is totally different, the pathophysiology. So,
Yeah.
in pre-assumption, automatically the student will not. I studied already this in message. Why should I listen to the faculty? He misses out the
Mhm.
necessary things. So that is the best
Yes.
example. So without assumption, you have to listen. Start listening.
The
Empty
same
cup.
thing we will write it
Always
in
make yourself
pediatrics
empty
also.
cup.
Yes. Sometimes students will write the same answer from the adult health nursing to the pediatric nursing, and they will
Of
write
course,
the dose also the same.
for communication, if I ask something in mental health, they will write one way, two-way communication, what they've studied in nursing foundation. That's assumptions. Actually, this empty cup was told in one program by a good speaker, Dr. Muttamil Shelvi
Mhm.
ma'am. She was the previous principal of AVMC, and now principal of Shri Manakala Vinayagar Nursing College. She only told you should always be empty cups. Then only you will be able to gain knowledge, wisdom,
Or it
everything.
will overflow, right? So usually you can't take anything in depth. You will be like just listen, hear something, and you will just move on. The great example what she told to us. So everybody needs to think about those examples, and they can adapt them those things into their daily life. And what you speak today about the Tirukural and Purnanuru, and nobody speaks in the podcast right in the mental health nursing that we literally having the connection between our daily life and our childhood poems and everything. Thanks, Cathy, for putting effort to tell about the literature from the Tamil and the English, so that it is like nostalgic for me. I'm just thinking like I need to read Purnanuru now. I just want to see my English book, which I was learned in the 8th standard, 6th standard, and it was a little because I'm just we are from the background of some Indian language, and we are just learning something new from the English book. That's a different thing when you learn or read something differently, which is not known to you. So that's a great thing, Kathy. Thank you so much for this, and we are
I
expecting the
started
other.
Purananuru again just a couple of weeks, like 1 week before I started reading it again, because in
Okay.
Insta I saw a doctor. He's just giving a visual representation of each and every poem. I
Oh,
totally
okay.
don't remember the page. Maybe I can comment it down in the video. That page is
Sure, sure.
actually nice. So he just gives a visual pic of each poem, what it actually means.
Mm.
That is where I again started reading Purananuru and Agananuru.
Okay, okay. That's a great thing that from the healthcare background, people are speaking about this thing, and now it is just trending out that nowadays people are going into the literature part too. To give an example, now anytime if you ask a medical profession and the nursing profession, they will give an example from the case, from their case book, from their log book, something else like that. Now it is like changing our lifestyle that we are just moving and we are seeing the background of our tradition and we are speaking out. Thank you so much for that. And at last, the conclusion mostly it is like listening. It is not only a word; it is a art. So, like Kathy said, it is not only the part of a life; it is a day-to-day life. What we are persisting, we are doing it, and we are listening to somebody else. It is not only your life. It is not only your personal life. It is also the professional life where your manager speaks a very important thing and you doesn't want to listen to him. If some patient is telling something, the signs and symptoms to you, and you couldn't process it properly to your mind, and you're just moving on to the next bit, it is also very wrong. So whenever you just listen actively to somebody else, there will be the bond created, the trust happen immediately. And Kathy said some example about our personal life also. If some wife and husband, the partners, has many kind of miscommunication happens. Why? Because I am not able to listen properly to my wife. Or some husband will say, my wife is not hearing to me. She is like a very like a kind of egoistic, and she doesn't want to listen to me properly. It's not like that. If you see from the other end, she might be thinking about, okay, what I need to cook today. And if a wife need to think about the husband, how long he ride the bike, how long he ride the car, and he came here to see us. So there is a difference between those things. So listening is where you can achieve something and you can give a perfect reply to them. It is not a question and answer session that if I ask something else to you, you say the one word answer or something. This is a podcast. We are speaking like a question and answer. Why? Because it should be a little bit interactive with the subscribers. That's why we are doing. If you are coming to the personal life, it is not like that. If I meet the Cathy, I will not ask a question and answer. So where it will be like a personal connect, we will speak something else which is not relevant at all sometimes. So this is how the life persists. So that we need to accept it first, actually. So that's where the psychology and the psychiatric things comes in, and the mental health. The from the first episode we are speaking about the health. It is not only about the physical well-being; it is also the mental well-being. So how you speak to somebody else, how somebody listens to you. So where the depression and stress reduce automatically. You can just try it out today night or tomorrow morning. You speak to somebody else. If somebody is listening to you carefully, automatically you will think, okay, in this world, in this moment, somebody wants to listen to me, and they're listening to me, and they wanted to solve the problem what I'm speaking of. So this is what happens to everybody life, but we don't have time to listen that one. That's a problem. So thank you so much for everyone who wanted to see this podcast. And next week we will just speak with a different one. And thank you so much to all, and love you all. Have a nice Saturday and the weekend tomorrow, the Sunday. Thank you, Cathy. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.